And welcome to the In-Game Bots Podcast. I am your host, Jeremy, aka your retro activist, aka your in-game boss, aka a 2020 survivor. Welcome to 2021. And joining me also, that is a 2020 survivor, Mr. Jaron.
Yo, aka the Grumpy Bear, aka the Evil of Aku. Yes, 2020 is done. It's 2021 now. Happy New Year, folks. And, couldn't have come soon enough.
I didn't do anything for 2021. I just took it as another day, went to bed. I actually started watching MASH. Don't ask me why.
Did you start with the movie first?
No, I didn't. It was on Hulu, and I was like, I'll give it a try. My mom likes it, so I'll watch it. It's entertaining. I'm only 2 episodes in, so I'm not.
Okay, yeah. I was about to say,
I'm not really doing anything.
O'Houlihan and Radar and everything, you haven't really gotten to those characters yet.
Yeah. So don't ask me anything what I think yet. I don't really know and everything like that.
No, it's okay. My dad used to watch that show when it came on at night. Like, it came on like after the late show. Not the late show, but the late show. It came on after that. And my dad, because he just doesn't sleep much, he would watch it, and I would hear it in the background. So it's a special place in my childhood. I never watched it, but I know the damn theme song. I can sing it in my sleep.
And for the listeners and viewers, what else do you go by? What's your AKAs?
I said, Grumpy Bear, a.k.a. the Evil of Aku.
I'm sorry. I guess you said it so quick. I guess I just missed it. Sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, man, do I have another alias? Yeah. I mean, none that I can share.
Yeah. Jeremy, I only got so much material, okay? You got to save the AKAs for another time. Yeah.
No, I mean, some of that's a little personal.
Right.
Bedroom AKAs.
No, so welcome to Season 5, 2021. And we're doing stuff a little bit different from 2020, of course. One of them is, hopefully this will work out. We're going to do video, so we'll be on YouTube for these videos and whatnot. I know, do the dumb, kind of thing.
Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Right. No, we're gonna try it out, see what happens, see where it goes, and everything like that. I've been waiting for just kind of the right setup, and hopefully some other shows that we're gonna be doing is gonna be doing the same thing. Now it's gonna probably be different when I have a guest over in my studio, how we're going to set that up compared to, like, if they're online, then it's easier. But that's another day for another time. But it is 2021, Season 5. I'm very excited. From Season 4, it has been a long road. About 24 episodes, I want to say. A lot of twists and turns, a lot of generation changes for consoles, new games, all stuff. 2021, I feel like it's a little calmer. It's going to be calmer this year. Because now that all the consoles... No, I mean, like no big announcements on consoles are coming out. That's done. There's not, PS5. This is basically their year one for PS5 and the Xbox Series X. And while we're going into the fourth year of the Switch. Yeah. So really, only thing big I can see coming is if there's a new Switch, or it's just going to be new games all year. And that's what I believe in.
That's very optimistic. You can't forget, though, the KF console, Kentucky Fried Chicken console. They're the dark horse.
Right? Like, Stadia's like, whew, yeah, do you? When I was looking at the KFC console, I was thinking, like, what size would be good with that? Like macaroni and cheese, green beans.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to put chicken in the warmer.
No, I mean, like, what's good to eat with it? Like, I feel like since it's warming chicken, like, I like to have some sides to eat with it, right? Like, what do you like to eat with your KFC? Like, are you like a mac and cheese, green beans, mashed potatoes, and green beans?
I have not had KFC in a long time, but when I did, it was the biscuits and actually the wedge fries.
Wedge fries, okay.
Yeah, I was a little spoiled with my mom's mashed potatoes and green beans and things like that. So eating KFC sides, it just wasn't the same. But wedge fries and some biscuits, along with the main, drumstick, thigh, breast. I'm good.
Yeah. I was green beans and mac and cheese most of the time.
Okay.
and I like the spicy chicken if I did KFC. So.
Oh yeah, that there's nothing else to me.
Right.
There's nothing else. It's spicy or nothing.
Now, what part of the chicken do you like? Do you like the light meat or dark meat side?
The dark, because the
You're
more flavor there.
You're a drumstick person, aren't you? Yeah.
I've always been. I'm a
drumstick person too. Yeah.
I was if anybody tried to go for the drumstick and I didn't have one first, it was going to be a fight. But over the years, I've also learned to enjoy the thigh, and as my appetite increased, I would incorporate the breast. So I
see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, on a good day, I could basically just kill a whole one by myself.
Yep. Well, we have a great lineup of episodes for so far in the first half of the year that we can't wait to talk about. Season 5 is going to be a little more, I want to say, goofy. That's what I'm getting so far. It's a little goofy with the episode's ideas. Upbeat, I guess is the better word. Upbeat, what's going on. So I'm excited to see what happens. Hopefully we get some great guests on the show that I'm working on and whatnot. Because 2020 was a little bit of a dread. Not in like the episode, more of just our personal lives, dealing with like, the world events that have been happening and everything like that. So this year is kind of like try our best to recover from 2020 and just kind of be more uplifting and everything. My motto, that I get the motto from someone else that I don't know where they got it from, is, try to be better than you were, yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
So every day I try to find something positive and go. Like, honestly, like on my my goal in front of my refrigerator, I write down, try to make somebody laugh or smile every day, at least one. So if I can get one person to laugh or smile, then I'm like, cool. All right, I don't have to talk to you anymore. Just kidding. No, I'm joking.
Yeah,
No,
it's a droplet of positivity each day. If everybody can throw some positivity in, that would be great. My it's not my motto, but it's a motto that I always did find entertaining. It's from Dennis Leary. Life sucks. Get a helmet.
There you go.
I mean, it happens, or like my mom used to say, shit happens when you party naked.
Right.
So
I could not commit to that with a serious face, like, naked. No.
Yeah, it was funny asking what do you mean by that. She's like, you'll figure it out someday.
Have you still figured it out?
Yeah. Naked's a metaphor. It's not literal.
Why not both? No, I'm just kidding.
I
mean, your house, your rules, right? So, what is going on for the In-Game Boss Program Network, the network of gaming and other variety shows? So, what's in store for 2021 for the network? Well, for one, this show is the flagship, so we're going in strong and whatnot. A lot of shows last year started kind of like ending per se, and we're looking at May for a lot of new shows and old shows coming back in a different way. So, for instance, like when Jeremy Met Nam movie podcast, that show will be returning back in May, hopefully. With brand new episodes and whatnot. We take we pick movies based on different decades, 2 each. And that's basically our lineup for the whole year. So we can't wait to get back into that. We actually got to finish our second half and then start a new season for it per se. So it's a little confusing. Don't worry about that. Then, of course, our show for this year that's still been going monthly is our World Gaming Trade Show that I do with Brendan from the Game Addict podcast. And,
shout out.
Yeah, and so we take games that people forgot about, and we want to bring them back to a new way, and what developers we like to put on there. So, the last one we had up, man. Well, I forget what the last one we put up, but we do games from Crimson Sky, Gex, Soul Blaze, Musashi, Wing Commander. We did a Star Wars theme, Metal Storm. Those are some good choices right there that we pick, and with developers that we want to put on this. And actually, this month, as you listen to this episode, we're doing a theme based on some couple games that were on the N64. And so, clue is think extreme. So,
if it's what I think it is.
Yeah, you probably know. But we do have other shows in the chamber that we're working on. We're working on RPG podcast. Hopefully we'll get that done and hopefully have it out in May. I can't go into more details about it because I want to make sure it's guaranteed and ready. So we have that show going on. Jerome, of course. Now, as you know, Jerome and I do a show on YouTube that if you're watching this right now, it should be below whatever you're listening to. It's called Buddy Up Gaming, where we pick games that we buddy up and co-op and play. And alongside that is a show that Jaron and I do. It's called The Cabinet Sessions, where we pick a bunch of arcade games and we go through them. You know, last month or December, we did Mutant Nation. So definitely look at that one. A lot of misspelling words. Keep an eye on that. We'll point that out.
All the quarters we can hold. The quarters we can hold.
Yeah, and we have a heck of a lineup this year, you know. But due to the event, it might come out a little slower at the beginning. So, you know, if Jaron and I can get together and do it, great. So if it's not every month, it'll probably be like every other month. And so, but we're going to try our best to try to play catch up and get it done the best way we can. But we just want to give a heads up. So, you know, if you're watching, you really like it, well, you know what's going on. And that's the same thing with Buddy Up Gaming. So, but we do have one. We do have one this month. Yeah, we do have one this month. So be prepared for that one. That one was actually pretty entertaining. It's based on an old cartoon and whatnot. And so it's Konami. And so, but there's other specials that I want to do this year. I want to do like little short special series, like a 5-part series of something and whatnot. Just keep giving you content in a different way and trying to get more ideas out there. Now, I do have other special projects that is kind of connected to the network, but not, and I can't discuss those right now. But hopefully I can give it to you soon, like maybe in the summer, maybe towards the fall. But I want to make sure that is completely ready before I announce it and whatnot. And so, but with all that, I want to do a shout out to our intro. This intro is kind of giving you that upbeat style. I love the intro of this. The song is called Shine by Memo Demo. I found her on Twitter and I found her Bandcamp site. Started listening to her on Bandcamp, and I just enjoyed this song. Like the first half is kind of, you know, really retro, and then it just turns up to an 11, and it just goes pretty nuts. And so for now on in this episode, you'll basically get more of the beginning, the middle, and the end, and it'll feel like more of a stage as we go into this show. So hopefully that will be a smooth transition for that. And
it slaps.
Yeah. So. Her descriptions and all that stuff is down below, but I just want to say, you know, you can find all her wonderful stuff on, of course, Bandcamp, where you can buy her album that should be coming out pretty soon for this, where this song is coming from, YouTube, SoundCloud, and you can find her on her Twitter. She's at Memo Demo. When you do the O's, they're actually zeros, and so you can find it there and whatnot. When I messaged her, she was pretty excited. Also, she's on Discord, and so
yes. And she has a Spotify.
Yes, she has a Spotify. That's absolutely correct. And so, in the description, it'll be probably like a link tree, which we need to do. I need to do one for this network, a link tree, where it kind of just take you to stuff really quick. Have you heard of that, Jaron? The link tree?
Linktree, in passing, yes. But considering how many ways they can reach us and should be reaching us and listening to us, it's overdue.
Yeah, so we'll set that up. And to that, to all the listeners out there, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for, you know, seeing us. And it's like, hey, what's this show about? You know, it's been a big pickup on followers, especially on Podbean. Also because we were on the front page in August for the what did they call it? Basically the special feature. Week. Yeah, we were on the feature, and so we gained we're on 627 followers on Podbean alone. So, you know, shout out to everybody. Thank you for following us and whatnot. And remember,
627 wise people.
Yes. And remember, we're also on Facebook and Twitter. So on Twitter, you can type in @ProgramIn, capital P, capital E, and you can find and follow us on there. And then we're also on Facebook on the page and whatnot. And don't forget, we're on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, we do have links up at the top of the page, so you can definitely, you know, go there if that's the easier shortcut for you. But we definitely would love to hear you, you know, click on us on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, all listening spots, you know, and always leave a comment. You know, if you're watching us, leave a comment down below. Tell us if we're doing a great job, bad job, speak your mind about the topics that we talk about and whatnot. We would love just to, hear some voices, get some traffic and whatnot and everything like that. So with all that in the way, we're in stage 5. So, it's basically about 5 years since we've been doing this show. Jaron, this is your third year or second year?
Yes. I came in season 3, stage 3.
Yeah. So this is your second year. Or 2.5, maybe. I don't know.
Somewhere in there.
So many extra bonus episodes we had. If we had it all together, probably about like 2.5 years. So I'm very grateful and very happy that you stuck with me ever since I met you at our RGS community. And I hit you up while you were talking about Sega games and whatnot. I don't know if I came off like this guy, but thank you for taking a chance and giving it a try and being my co-host for 2 years. I'm very grateful and thank you a lot for that. So
it's been a while.
So season 5, I'm very excited for season 5. It's going to be upgoing, but here we don't call it season 5. We call it stage 5, like levels. Okay, kind of give it a more different tune to it and everything like that. And speaking of that, I want to talk about some popular games and talk about their stage 5. So Mario on the NES, if you remember stage 5, that was in the daytime level where you get introduced to bullet bills, I believe, for the first time. I think.
Yes, I think.
Yeah,
I think that was 5-1 or 5-2.
Yeah, and I think 5-2 or 5. Yeah, I think it was 5-2. Did it go to 5-3? I believe it goes in the night. I think. I forget. I don't know if that. No, maybe that's just World 6. Maybe 6. No, you're right. World 6 is all night. 5 is all day. Yeah, but I remember it's like white bushes and white little poles and stuff like that, and that was a ton of Hammer Brothers everywhere in that level too, along with bullet bills shooting at you and whatnot. Sonic 2, the hilltop, that country kind of twang sound, going up the hills and everything like that with the lavas and all that stuff. That one was kind of interesting. Team of Ninja Turtles, the arcade on the NES, that was actually the car lot after the snow level. You got to watch out for those cars kind of pulling out and hitting you. And you fight Baxter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was the car lot, wasn't it?
Yeah, you fight Baxter because you got to say you try to save April. And so, yeah. And so, and those are a couple of. Oh, and Castlevania on the NES. You fight like in the middle. You're in the middle of the castle, and you're fighting the Grim Reaper. So, yeah. So,
yes.
Yeah. So those are some things you can remember from Stage 5. Stage 5 was supposed to be kind of coming towards the end of beating the game, per se.
Yeah. I mean, your average 8-stage game. Yeah.
Yeah, except for Turtles and arcade. That was like, nah, you're like halfway.
Yeah. No. It's now. Are we talking about the first arcade game?
No.
Or are we talking about Turtles in Time?
No, NES arcade.
Okay. So Turtles the arcade game.
Yeah. That's the one you're in the car lot. I think that had more stages than Turtle in Time, if I'm correct. That was a lot.
I'm sure our listeners would probably wiki and
because like you had the car lot, then you fight in the main street, like on the highway while these cars come by. Then you have on the skateboard, I believe, while the helicopter is shooting at you and whatnot. So that was like 3 things in one. And then after that, I forget. But then it leads to, Japanese dojos, all that stuff, so.
Yeah, I'm trying. Man, you're taking me back to the bowling alley back in 1989, 1990.
Right.
I played it. That was crazy. And yeah, there were a lot of stages. I think they added 2 more stages to the NES. Because, you had to fight Bebop and Rocksteady simultaneously.
Yeah, I definitely password my way through that. I Konami code the shit out of that game. So,
yeah, I cannot remember the last time I beat it. So, might have to revisit it soon.
Yeah, I couldn't beat that game straightforward. I give credit to people that could beat that game. You're a hero, but at the same time, it's like, nah, I'm good. I'll just jump around, like House of Pain, jump around, and so. But yeah, stage 5, I feel like still the beginning for wherever this network and this show is going to go next. So I'm very excited for that. But before we kind of get into what games we're playing, Jaron, we want to do a special shout out to our boy DC, our guest that is there when we do our yearly episodes. And what I mean is we pick a certain year and talk about games that we enjoyed, we hated, and we never played. Like our last one in November, we did in, I think, early September in 2020. It was 1996. That was a very powerful year. And so, so shout out to DC. DC is an awesome guy, but he needs your help. So, Jaron, go ahead and lead that for us.
All right. I will try and not do it too Sally Struthers-esque. But so DC runs a game cafe called Commonspace Game Cafe. It's really cool. You can go in there and play all sorts of different types of board games, tabletop games in general. You can hang out. They have classes, leatherworking. You can play some of the arcade games there. It's an all around place. It's a great place to gather, hang out with friends, and of course, as we all know, 2020 was a surprise year. Life called an audible that year. So Commonspace made it through, but it's going to need a little bit of help to level up. So they did start a Kickstarter campaign. DC started a Kickstarter campaign called the Commonspace Level Up. And it's not just, give us money. You can get cool swag while also helping to support a local game cafe and continue to have a place where any and everybody are welcome to hang out, be themselves, have fun. A good place to find a good D&D party, which is hard these days. Commonspace Game Cafe. Kickstarter. The link will, I already shot Jeremy the link, so he has a link to the Kickstarter. But I also linked it in my Twitter. I threw him a pledge. Give what you can. We know what's going on, but give what you can, and every little bit helps. So
Is his business open though?
Yes, they are open. They had to modify their hours, of course, but they are still open. About 4 or 5 days a week. They're open, of course, Friday, Saturday, I believe also Sunday.
Okay.
And they are located in Norman. They're off of Main Street in Norman, the shopping center where Homeland is.
And for the people that don't live in Oklahoma, it is in Oklahoma. And
yes. Yeah. It's in Norman, Oklahoma, not like Norman, Maine, or Norman, Kentucky, anything like that. Norman, Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. And it is it's a fun place. I've been there a few times, and it's really chill. They take social distancing and wearing masks. They take it seriously. They try to accommodate everybody and encourage anybody who comes there to wear a mask, sanitize, make sure everything's nice and clean. But like I said, they need, and they're overdue for a level up, and you can help.
Yeah, and especially if you live in Oklahoma, please make some time and give it a visit. Go there and check it out. Talk to DC. He's a great guy.
Yeah. If you see DC, you can't miss him. Tell him the Endgame Boss podcast sent you.
There you go. And speaking of that, as if you are new to the show, thank you so much for giving us a click and give us a listen. And just to let you know, we are Oklahoma's #1 video game podcast. So holla at your boy on that. So with that, our show is basically pretty simple. We take topics that helps challenge us and challenge you, the listeners, on certain things that, we love talking about. And we hope that you enjoy some of the topics out. Now, this episode is going to be kind of like an easy back into 2021 before we kind of get to the nitty gritty kind of stuff. But I like doing episodes where sometimes we have some fun conversations too, just fun, goofy, picks and stuff like that. So, we try to be we're kind of a little bit all over the place, but we do some gaming news and whatnot when we think there is news worth talking about and whatnot, because sometimes the news speaks for itself, and we sometimes, we don't need to talk about it, if it's already big. I don't need to sit here and tell you about Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk's everywhere now. I don't need to tell you how about that, okay?
Yeah.
But what if I do bring up something like that, that would be something connected to a topic that we will talk about, and talk about something else with that. So before we even get to our main topic, let's talk about the games that we are
playing. Now, it's been a long time since we talked. We haven't talked per se or recorded since the 15th on our last episode when we did the in-game boss awards. So definitely go listen to that and see what awards we have gave out to people, featuring Curtis from the Sunday Anime Chat. So definitely check out his show. On you can find him on Facebook, and I think he's also on. He's gonna be mad at me. I forgot the site that he has, but I'll see if I can connect the link on my Facebook page so you guys can link there. So shout out to Curtis. But yeah. So it's been a couple of weeks, so we don't know what games we've been playing. So we'll go ahead and do start it out. So surprisingly enough, I saw a couple of games on sale that I was excited to buy and whatnot. Steam sale will be over by the time you hear about this, so hopefully you got some games out of that. But I'll go ahead and talk about the recent one I've been playing, work my way back. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. So
good game.
Yeah, so it was on sale for $14.99 on the eShop, and I had some change. And what I mean change is, all of the games that I buy, they give you little gold coins per se. So I used what I had and got it for like $10, or like $9 or $10, right? So I played it. I enjoyed it. Halfway in the game, I'm in World 3. So like in the spooky kind of with the booze and everything like that. Before that was like the desert and the forest and everything like. I like it. I like the strategy. It's a very XCOM. Actually, now I got XCOM, but I haven't really jumped into this. But this game, I think, is a good beginners for me to get into that kind of style. Especially like I guess with XCOM is a little bit different because like there's so many people you have to you can recruit. But here in this game, you're limited to some. So it feels a little bit more easier for me because now I have my focus as these characters. So I don't have like 1,000 characters to choose from and rotate out of somebody better. It's like, no, this is my group. This is what I want. And so game is very pretty. I really like it. Ubisoft did a really good job with it. I do have some nitpicks, but it's personal. It's just personal nitpicks. It has really the gameplay's great. I like the gameplay. I like the fact that like you can hop on your teammates and jump around. I like the shooting mechanics. I like the challenge of it, even though like sometimes I mess up and I get mad at myself. And sometimes I get hit. I hate honey in that game. Honey sucks. But that's not the nitpick. Nitpick is little things like one, I understand what they were trying to do, and I get it, and it's the nitpick. I hate it. It's the fact that you can't have a set of the same characters of 3. You have to have one or the other in there. So so you can't have in the set, you always had your Mario's main cast and then the Rabbids matching them per se, right?
Like wearing their
outfits. Right. So I can't have just Peach, Luigi, and Mario as a team on their own. They won't let you. You have to at least have one Rabbid in there. So I rock with Rabbid Princess, and Mario, because Mario, you have to stick with Mario no matter what. So
it's his game.
Yeah, right. So I have to stick with those. So you can't just do just 3 of the same group of the same area, right? So, which kind of sucks because like I think the Princess, Luigi, and Mario is a great team because Luigi is really good at the long distance shots. Princess is good with the cup close, and Mario's the middle person.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, that's awesome. And I'm like, no, they just won't let you do it. Because I thought at first, it was like, I'm missing a bar. Like, okay, what, is she takes too much bar so she can't fit in there? It's like, no, they just won't let you. So that's one of my nitpicks on that. And then my other nitpick is the game itself, it's set up as, one, you kind of have to remember what Rabbids were going through. And you forget that, like, towards the later entries. And I never played Rabbids. I had to go Wikipedia this. To the fact that, like, their last games they had, there was a time washing machine. And that's how they went into this world. If you never knew that, it could be a little confusing. Like, okay, these Rabbids just show up in a time washing machine. Okay. But you realize that this has been going on for a while to lead to this point, and that's the way they got into the Mario world. And then the other thing is the fact that you forget that they're trying to merge 2 things together, and that's how the Rabbids are created in the Kingdom world. So, like when you fight the first boss, it's a Rabbid Donkey Kong per se, right? So you got Donkey Kong mixed with the Rabbid.
Is in it.
What?
Donkey Kong is in it.
He is in it. I understand that. From the DLC. But in that game, you know, you would assume that it's a rabbit plus Donkey Kong due to the tie and the monkeyness, right? All that, right? And so I wish they leaned a little bit more into that instead of just making it more like, oh, it's a rabbit and a monkey. Oh, but then there's Donkey Kong. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I wish the rabbits were different characters and not cosplay like the other characters. It almost feels like it's Mario with rabbits, not Mario and rabbits to me, because like the world feels more rabbit than Mario is really in it to me. And I wish that they lean more on the different costumes they can be like. Or if they're going to merge them together, then merge them together. You know, if you're going to do a Luigi and rabbit, then don't put Luigi in it. You know what I mean? That is Luigi. He's mixed with the rabbit. So
Luigi's been excluded from enough games.
Yeah, but that's what I'm getting at. Like, if you're going to merge you two, merge them, because there's other characters in there that are merged, and they're fine for what they are. But I think for this, they should just merge it. And I wish they did that with the enemies. Like, I thought they were going to really lean towards, and I feel like it's a missed opportunity to didn't lean towards, or they weren't allowed to lean towards using some of the Bowser's minions in this. I would have loved to see now. I'm only halfway, so you could tell me if
I haven't played it yet. My partner has.
Oh, you haven't? Okay. But I would have loved to see rabbits mixed with Koopas. I would love to see rabbits with Goombas. I would love to see rabbits with Hammer Brothers. You know, all this stuff, just to see what wild ideas that they have. You know, but they keep these rabbits kind of like separate in their own way. You know, you get these bouncy ones that can hop around. You got these support ones and whatnot. But I would love they lean towards just putting a little bit more of the flavor of both things put together. And then on that, I wish the rabbit partners were other characters that they were not part of the main cast. Like, I would have loved a Toad rabbit. So that'd be kind of cool another way than matching Luigi, Princess, and Yoshi and all stuff. I feel like there were wasted spots for that, and they could have been more creative of, I don't know, like using a different way, like a Toadette rabbit. I don't know. You know, I wish they would have done that in that way. And I think that would have been a lot cooler to me than just matching. Because, like, I'm going to be honest. I saw the Rabbit Mario, and I'm like, I don't want two Rabbit Marios. Like, I have one Mario, I don't want another one. So I just want a little bit more diverse in that. But I think the biggest missed opportunity to me is the enemies with the rabbits. Because it would just been funnier to me. Just to see them, like, what creative ideas what they done with a rabbit mixed with a Koopa and stuff. And so
I mean, Mario has a large list of enemies just stage to stage.
Right.
Lucky two rabbits.
How funny would it have been to see a bullet bill rabbit? Like, it shoots out of a cannon and is just yelling like, ah! Like, that would have been funny. That would have been hilarious to me. Or a Lakitu rabbit. Like a rabbit on a cloud throwing the weirdest stuff out of the ground, out of the air. That would have been funny to me, you know. And to find a clever way to do that in strategy moving around, because they just use a lot of big rabbits and small rabbits that do little things. So I hope maybe if there's a sequel, they'll lean more into that. But I will say this though, I would completely be fine with this game being like a spiritual successor. If they decided to do, or maybe not successor, maybe like a sequel to like Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars. Like if they did a sequel to that, I'm probably in the outcast group, but I can do this battle system with that game. That'd be kind of cool.
So you would want another Super Mario RPG, but with this battle system.
I could accept it if Ubisoft was in charge of it and they're like, hey, let's use this for this. That'd be kind of cool because, like, you know, I can see Gino doing some cool stuff with this. I can see Bowser doing something cool with this, you know.
Oh man, no, I also hope for that. It's just, oh man, you know how Nintendo is.
Yeah. So, I'm just saying, like, that battle system works well for Mario and what you can do with those characters and whatnot. So let's hope that you know, there might be a sequel from there. The next game I played, and there was more to the game, but I decided to stop there because the credits rolled, and then they had some bonus, like there's an epilogue, and I was like, I'm done. It's Gravity Rush 2. So
everybody's been talking about that game the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Okay. So I bought that game a while back on Best Buy on a clearance for $7.99. So I was like, I'll give this a try because I'm not gonna lie, I have the first one that I bought digitally on the PS4, and from a game that was ported from the Vita to this game, the controls weren't working with me well. Wasn't really liking controls. Wasn't really feeling it. Then I played the sequel. And the sequel is is a lot better than me. And it's a little bit more out there. Like, the game is beautiful for what it is. And I love the fact that, like, the gravity, it's really cool ideas that they do that. Like, gravity's pulling you to places and whatnot. And you get that kind of loose control of not really fully controlling your character per se. And it's cool in these acts. But it almost stops there for me because the fact that when it comes to one-on-one fighting, or you're in close areas, the camera goes nuts. And it's kind of bad. Like, when you're out in the opening in the sky and everything, the camera's great and everything. But when you're in close quarters and you're gliding around, because it's kind of like if you play Mario Galaxy, whatever you connect to, you're magnet to that area. Like, whatever planet you're on. And this is the same thing with Gravity Rush. Like, if you're on a surface, you're on that surface, and you have to push yourself off. So one of the boss fights I had to do was we had to go inside its body, and it's a bunch of crumbly buildings together, and we're going, through this maze and all these corridors to get to the core and everything like that. And it sucks because, like, you're fighting, but then you get easily stuck on the wall, and the camera is fighting with you, trying to see where you're going and everything like that. So it's not really good in close quarters, and it sucks, but it is what it is. But I got through it. And then also, too, the side missions get kind of boring and tedious to me. I stopped doing the side ones because I thought they were doing
just rinse and repeat.
Some of them are rinse and repeat. Some of them might give you a little extra like boost on like with Gravity Rush. When you use gravity, you have a bar, and when that bar is gone, you just fall or you just drop down wherever you are. So if you're in the sky and you lose all your energy, you just fall until it recharges. Then you can stop yourself and keep going towards wherever you're going. Okay. Or if you're hanging on a wall and time runs out, you just fall. So you have to kind of keep an eye on that, because I like the collectathons in the game where there's a lot of crystals, and those crystals are your currency to level yourself up a little bit more, make yourself more powerful. You can invest it in your martial arts, you can invest it into your super move, you can invest it into your personal gravity. One of them is the gravity is static, I think it's called, where you can pull stuff to you and throw it at people, So you basically make your own void, your gravity pull, and then you can shoot out wherever you wherever you want to go, right? And so, I really like that a lot. Especially like you can just grab so many random things, and the more powerful you get, the more you can just carry more with you. You can carry up to 5 things and then throw them everywhere and all stuff. And especially like when you go in the fights, though, fighting is a little challenging because you don't really have per se a really lock on. Like if you miss that person, you're gonna have to stop yourself, move the camera, and go straight at that person again. It's not one of those the camera sticks on them, so if you pass them, the camera is gonna still keep an eye on the enemy while you're missing, if that makes sense. And so, yeah. So it was fun for what it was, but it did get old for me, and I'm glad I kind of got through it and whatnot. I honestly is kind of like halfway, I kind of skipped the second parts of it and everything. Do I recommend people giving the game a try? I recommend people giving it a try, but I can understand if you want to step away from it too, because it can kind of get old to you, or it kind of gets a little tiresome. Because at first, I caught it late that there was fast travel. For a while, I just flew everywhere. And I like flying everywhere too. It was kind of cool. But my favorite part was going after the crystals, because some of the crystals were in like under these floating sky buildings and whatnot, because everything's in the sky, right? And your character is basically, from the first one, she's a guardian, and her goal in the first one was she was a guardian of this town, and she's just taking care of the city. And then of course something happens at the end. I never beat the first one. I had to do the recap on the second one. Something happened in the void and you disappeared, and you end up going with this group, and you end up going to this other world, and it's split up to 3 different areas. Like you have the rich people up the top, you have the middle people, and then you have
working class.
Yeah, working class, and then you have the slums. and they're in 3 different tiers. So like it was kind of cool that like if you're in the high tier and you just decide to fall and just fly down, you're flying and you start seeing the middle class level areas, and they're all floating cities. It's almost like BioShock Infinite. Everything is just floating in the air due to the gravity and everything
islands,
like that.
Platform.
Yeah, and it's so cool to look at. I had so much fun like running on the walls and doing all this stuff. And then if you keep falling down, the clouds get dirty and everything, and you start hitting the floating slumps and whatnot. And then you start getting different power-ups. Like you'll get because of course you can fly and stuff, but then you get like super jump stuff, and then you get heavy, where you're like super heavy, but you can hit stronger and whatnot. And then you can switch those on the fly the way you want and everything like that. But I think that game is a one-time thing for me. I don't know if I would play a third one, because it just wore me out for what it was. I had a little trouble towards the end and everything like that. And sometimes some of the ideas they put into that game, ideas they put in there, doesn't really play off well. I'll leave this last one. Is you do your super move, and one of the super moves is you're basically a homing missile. So you go after anybody that's the closest to you, and you go into a drill spin. So if there's 10 people, she'll go after each one. So if she beats this one, she'll automatically connect to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, right? Until the time limit bar is done. The only bad part about it is if you killed everybody, then you just start flying off crazy. So like your camera's messing up on you and all this stuff. So it can tire you out. It wore me out. And I was going to play the epilogue, but then like halfway I was like, you know what? I'm not feeling this. So, and this is after the credits. So I was like, you know what? I got what I needed. It was fun while it lasted. Probably not going to come back to it, but I enjoyed it for what it was. So Curtis, I did recommend that game to him, and I still recommend it for him to, give it a try and whatnot. And then River City Ransom Underground. That is my jam. At first, I wasn't feeling it at first, but then, man, I was feeling it. 2D, if you ever play River City Ransom, which I didn't play a lot of them, on the NES, it's RPG beat 'em up. You're going to venture. You're part of a gang squad and whatnot. You're going around, figuring out stuff, beating people up and everything like that. But this one is really good. The soundtrack's awesome. Basically, you're this kid, and you deal with these unfortunate events that happen to you, from being framed, people want to fight you and everything like that. I want to go into more details probably in the next episode about that, because we are on a time limit. So I'll definitely talk about on our next episode about what I think of River City Ransom Underground, because hopefully I'll beat it by then. So, but Jaron, what about you? What have you been playing?
Just a quick note before I go into what I've been playing. River City Ransom Underground is on sale on Steam at the time of this recording for about $2.99. Or if you pay, less than $1 more, you can get the game and the soundtrack. The sale ends January 5th. So
by the time you hear this, you'll probably do this. Dang it! So just throwing it out there.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe you might get lucky.
It's 4 players.
Yeah,
4 players. Co-op. So.
That's nice. I'm familiar with River City Girls. I'm playing that on the Switch off and on. So yeah, that's definitely River City. The River City saga, the Kunio-kun saga, has always been pretty extensive and fun.
And we do have an episode. We have an episode of Buddy Up Gaming that I did with Jaron on that one, and we're going to try to get back into that soon. So.
Oh yeah. It's the especially the RPG beat 'em up elements.
Yes.
So for me, I've been playing probably what everybody's been playing for the last 3 weeks or so, if you can play it, and that was Cyberpunk 2077. So it's probably not.
Well, you're playing on PC, right? Are you playing on PC?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, I'm playing on PC. Usually play it on just about max settings, and going in and out of focus here. Playing it on max settings, and it's fun. It's a fun game. I know there's a lot of mixed opinions about it. Some of it's influenced by the bugs, other influenced by just there's not as much as they expected to do, but it's a fun game. I mean, you make your character, you customize them, you go off and start doing depending on your origin. You have three origins, and they're all of them. Their origins are about like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then you launch into the main game. It's, how can I put it? It's like if Skyrim and I don't want to say Borderlands. I want to say, I mean, I guess as close I could say is Skyrim and Borderlands. The RPG elements and the open world of Skyrim with the shooting, some of the shooting mechanics, weapon mechanics, whatnot.
Would you put Deus Ex in there?
Yes, Deus Ex. Actually, thank you. That's a better one. It's a little more accurate. Deus Ex. It's not nearly as arcadey as Borderlands. It's more like Deus Ex. You have certain guns that you're better at. If you pump up your skill here, you're better at a shotgun, or you're better with a pistol, or with a submachine gun or a rifle. Or you could just go all melee. You can be an all melee character and really do a lot of damage as a melee character, like slice arms and all that stuff off. My biggest complaint with it, aside from the bugs, which I know they're working through the bugs, my biggest complaint with it would be how some of the missions, not side missions, but the side missions, if that makes sense. It's like they're side missions, but they're just one-off with like a character that you may never see again. Those kind of missions. I really wish they were a little bit more to the point. Sometimes they drag on a little bit long, but I will say it is a good way of getting to know the whole city. Like the city of Night City.
So
is huge.
Does these side missions you mentioned of do you feel like that they give you kind of a purpose? Do you think they're not? Or were they a waste of time to you? Like you get a tour of the city per se, but were they like? Did they do anything for you in that way?
So it depends. Like you have your main story, and if you go through the main story, you could knock the main story out by itself about 30 hours.
Now that sounds like Skyrim.
Oh, I'm sorry. Come again.
I said now that's Skyrim. That's like 30 hours. That's Skyrim. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you do the side missions, you get to learn more about the world. Like the side gigs, you get to interact with various, meet new characters and interact with them more. Judy, Panam, River, et cetera, et cetera. All these different characters. You get to learn about their lives, what motivates them, how they fit into the bigger scheme of things in Night City. And then you have your side missions, which really, if you're going by strictly the numbers, it's great for getting your XP up. It's great for getting extra money and getting rare materials to craft better items or upgrade your existing stuff. I will say I do like that you can pick out an outfit that you like, and even though you'll probably find better equipment later, if you like that look, you can just upgrade your existing outfit and keep up with the game as far as your armor needs. So if you like wearing a little pencil skirt and a cool jacket with a shirt that looks like it's from Big Trouble in Little China underneath, you can level all that up and still wear it. So I dig that. But yeah, Cyberpunk 2077, I put about 60, 70 hours into it, and I beat it. It has like about four or five endings.
Okay.
So I got about 2 or 3 of them.
Okay.
So yeah, I would give it right now. I would give it probably a 7 or 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Once they get a lot of the bugs fixed, they add some additional content, which they will. It'll easily be a 9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. So I was very hyped for this game when it first got announced because I'm a big sci-fi person. I like urban sci-fi stuff like Cyberpunk and everything like that. Like Fifth Element is like my favorite sci-fi movie of all time. So I really like that world. But when I started seeing all this stuff, I don't want my first experience to be
a bunch of stuff like that. So I want to sit back. Plus, I want to work on trying to get a new PC built that I'm doing slowly. And so I want that experience to be awesome when I get my hands on it, and hopefully all the fixes are gone. Now, when I was talking to Jaron from a buddy of gaming, he was telling me, one, he didn't really care for the AI. He think the AIs are a little dumb. Do you agree with that?
It depends. Depending on the mission, it's kind of sad because you can really tell, depending on the mission, if the AI is, pretty much dumb enemies charge at you, or if they are actually, they're not going to be strategizing like you think.
Well, what he mentioned is it kind of takes him out of the game more of, you're walking around and everything like that, and like they don't really interact with you the way that you expected. He was saying like even GTA, the AIs kind of interact with you a little bit better, meaning like if you punch a guy, he might want to, he's like, stop doing it until he wants to fight you. And, you saw that in GTA. I heard in like Cyberpunk, normally they just run away. He told me that one guy was in a wheelchair and he saw a video where this guy hit him in the head and he just got out of his wheelchair and ran. And so like, I was like, wow, he got blessed. But, right there is kind of like, okay, so like, if I shot a guy and he had a gun, like, will he shoot me back or what will he do? So I guess my experience for you, or my question for you is, have you ever had a situation where you did something and the character did back to you, even if it's not part of the mission, you just went on a walk and just started like just starting shit? Did you do anything like that?
No, because some of the missions that they have in there, the side missions, are part of the they're canned set pieces of the world. Like you could be going somewhere and all of a sudden a gunfight breaks out between the cops.
So they're set pieces. Gang. Okay.
Yeah. So you can go interact in that gunfight, or you could just let it go and it'll resolve itself one way or the other.
That's kind of a bummer. It's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I would like it's kind of, but it doesn't. I don't know. It didn't take me out of the game too much. Like Jerome mentioned, it didn't take me out of the game as much. Like if I'm walking, everybody's wanting GTA gone cyberpunk with this game, and that's just not the case yet. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying you got to temper your expectations. GTA. Especially GTA 5, that's a culmination of years and years and years.
Well, I would say I want to say like Fallout had that time. Like if you start something, like people will start fighting you. Same thing with like Elder Scrolls, I believe they will start doing that too. And I think some games do that with open worlds. So like if you start something, they'll start something with you. So I don't want to just say just GTA. I think a lot of other games. I think Witcher does it too. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
And so
Witcher has a little bit of a consequence. Like you can't just go killing people.
That's true. That's true.
And I mean, you can't do that in Cyberpunk either. The cops will get called. But yeah, that's where the AI still needs work. I'm not gonna try and sugarcoat it. But and examples of people just getting up out of wheelchairs if you punch them, reacting kind of in a canned way. You have basically three types of people. You have the NPCs, you have the NPCs you're supposed to fight or kill, and then you have everybody else. And everybody else acts almost exactly the same.
Yeah. It's a bummer, but it's not a deal breaker. But it's just a bummer because, I guess, a living world, I think when it comes to games like that, people just want to test how far they can go so they can just see how smart or how creative the game is more than like I don't think people buy the game just so I can just shoot and beat up people for no reason. It's more of like I want to see how far they go, especially I love those unexpected moments where like you're on a mission and then you accidentally shot somebody that was not even supposed to be there or during a moment, and they get pissed and they try to fight you. I like those unexpected events. Like, oh crap! Like I didn't mean to shoot you. I was like, ooh, he's calling the cops. Okay, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't. I don't know. I like unexpected events like that, even if it does cost me my life in the game. And it's like, I guess.
Yeah, I would like it more if enemies, when they shot or injured each other, especially if it was different gangs, the gangs would fight each other.
Right.
I hope they work on incorporating more of that. I was impressed though, the crowd density, because I had the crowd density turned all the way up. And when you're walking through dense areas, it does feel like you are having to like push and kind of work your way through crowds. But they don't really say anything unless you bump into them or anything like that. Now, it is fun, little conversations that you hear, that you overhear, or, people just doing their own thing, conversations that you overhear about their lives or life in Night City. So I could see what they were trying to do, but Cyberpunk, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Cyberpunk, the developers put everything they could into that game for when it came out, but you could definitely tell, and by their own admission as well, there was so much left out of that game that they wanted to put in it. There was supposed to be a whole metro subway type train system, and they had to cut it. They might add it later, but there's a lot that they wanted to put in there. But like I said, it's for something that's been worked on for over 8 years and it's been hyped for like almost that entire time. I wasn't hyped about Cyberpunk. I was interested. I wanted to play it. That's probably why I can look at it with a more, I guess, forgiving eye than most people. Mm-hmm. But I can understand why something that was hyped that much, people were expecting the second coming of Christ.
Okay. All right. Cool.
But next game I played, I'm actually in the middle of playing, is Control. Control Ultimate Edition.
Control. It was on sale. I'm sorry. I heard anything. I feel like I need that button to the Janet Jackson song. Control.
Oh, So, have you ever played Alan Wake? Any of the Alan Wake games?
I have played Alan Wake and I have played Quantum Break.
Okay. I have not played Quantum Break, but Alan Wake, it definitely feels like it's Remedy, so it's definitely feels and controls like that. The Ultimate Edition, which has all the DLC and everything in there. So far, I'm liking it. It introduces every single power and ability to you very slowly. It has a very interesting way of running you through like a training tutorial, but making it part of the game and part of the world. And incorporating the mixture of real life interludes with the game, I thought was very clever. So I'm enjoying Control. I look forward to playing more of it. I'm still stuck if I want to speed through it or if I want to actually play every mission. So I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
But definitely Control. It came out 2 years ago, like late 2018. Yeah. No, like 2019.
Well, that one did. The special edition or the Ultimate Edition came out this year.
Yeah. But I mean, the game itself, Control, came out in 2019, and I can see why people who were playing it was like, yeah, this is it, man. This is the game. It's very much underhyped. It's underhyped. It's kind of a sleeper. A lot of people are sleeping on it. And
I don't know. I think that's hard to say because I think Alan Wake and Quantum Break got sleeped on. I think Control really got pretty big to me.
I mean,
especially now that it came on the cloud on the Switch. So I think it is being a lot bigger shown compared to their previous ones.
I mean, it is in the sense it's getting support and it's getting spread out to different platforms. But as far as everybody, people are. I mean, it even got a little mention in the Game Awards and everything last year. Not last year, but 2019. That's great. But I guess I'm just not hearing as much buzz about it as you hear about, Last of Us Part 2 ruined my childhood and all that. People are.
Well, then that's a good thing. That's a good thing, though, right?
I guess because people don't have really anything to bitch about regarding Control. They don't talk about Control at all. So
the only thing bad about it, they said, was the whole Ultimate Edition because, the Ultimate Edition was going to be for the next gen, not for the last gen. So they don't get the Ultimate thing. So all that DLC and stuff, they just it doesn't connect to it and everything like that. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah, they have to buy the Ultimate Edition.
No, they can't upgrade. They just couldn't it's just the whole upgrade. Like I bought this whole season thing, now I have to rebuy it again for the next gen. It kind of sucks. And so
I mean, it does. I mean, you can still play regular vanilla Control on the next gen console, but if you want all those optimization tweaks and special things, you gotta double dip. and that does suck. But I mean, I would say people don't let that stop you from giving Control a try if you haven't already.
It's on my list.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the fact that you can morph your gun from a regular just pea shooter into a shotgun into a rapid fire, and it's still all handheld.
Yeah,
it just changes shapes.
You would like Quantum Break, because Quantum Break's pretty cool because they use a lot of ideas with time. So a lot of slow motions and all that stuff. You would reality. Like that. Yeah, you would definitely like that one, and they do a pretty good job with it. You just have to be prepared if you care about watching the shows.
Shows that, like the interludes in the game.
The shows based on the decision you have. If you can deal with that, then it's fine. But I played that game on my computer now, and my computer was breathing hard because that game is graphically really nice. But I made it through with that game. But my console was like, you need to hurry and beat this.
Yeah. It's on sale for $9. Maybe I'll give it a try.
I say give it a try. I mean, if you like Alan Wake, I think you'll like it. The gameplay is fun. It's a gun game. I think a lot of influence from Control definitely came from Quantum Break on certain decision on gameplay. So
yeah, they definitely, you can tell there's refinement in just how your main character in Control operates, just how her jumping, her maneuverability, everything. It's a little weird playing on the keyboard, but I don't mind.
Oh, it's not Control on Steam?
Oh, you could have so. Here's what's funny. A lot of Steam games will recognize I have a PS4 controller plugged in, and will operate as such. Like Tekken, I could just plug it in and start playing. Uno, for some reason, recognizes I have a controller. But Control is expecting an Xbox controller, a Microsoft Xbox controller. And some other games expect a Microsoft Xbox controller. So, and if you don't have that plugged in, unless you do some sort of, hacky, get the DS4 application to, fool it into making you think, fool the program into making you look like you have the controller, it won't work. And I could do that. I don't feel like it. So, these last two are quick ones. Okay. Star Wars Squadrons. I was able to get on sale, like deep discount. It's cool. It's like if X-Wing versus TIE Fighter were modified and brought to the current gen consoles. Everything controls well. I like the fact that I'm playing it on PS4, so in case I ever get VR, I can try it in VR. It controls well. It's fun. It's a very short campaign because they intend for you to play it multiplayer. That's not going to happen. And Landgrisser 1 and 2. I got the Landgrisser collection for the Switch. So yeah, Landgrisser. We were talking about this off mic. Landgrisser is a baby Fire Emblem, essentially. I guess I shouldn't say baby. That's kind of insulting. It reminds me so much of Fire Emblem in so many ways. But I'm only about 6 or 7 missions in. But it reminds me of Fire Emblem in so many ways. But the cast so far is a lot smaller, and the combat is a little bit easier, more or less.
More forgiving, you mean when you say that?
Forgiving, kind of. It's not as like your characters. If your characters go, they're not permadead. It doesn't do permadeath.
Okay.
And it has it to where you have your main hero or commander, and then that commander can recruit X number of mercenaries, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever number of mercenaries. And those mercenaries are different units. They could be elf archers. They could be mages, clerics, horsemen, spearmen, swordmen, ninjas. I don't care, whatever. And but you can't mix and match. If you have a commander by mercenaries, they have to be of that specific type. They all surround the commander, and then when you go into battle, you can have your mercenary attack, or your commander will attack. And it's more risky to have your commander attack, because if your commander attacks and dies, the whole squad is wiped.
That sucks.
So
there's no like, hey, I'm in command since I'm in command now. No, none of that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no. but the enemy is like that too. So if you're surrounded by enemies, if you, which is pretty easy to find who the commander is, if you kill the commander, that whole squad is wiped. So you can knock out like 4 or 5 units in one go.
It's kind of like chess.
The thing is, your troops, in order to get more powerful, they have to defeat enemies. And in order to defeat enemies, they have to be powerful. So that's where the weird difficulty comes in, where you use your mercenaries to weaken an enemy and then have another mercenary come in, kill that enemy, and they get the XP.
Okay.
So it's kind of weird in that way. That's why I'm struggling with trying to decide if I want to just have 1 or 2 units be super powerful or have everybody be an even spread. So in that sense, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Dragon Force for the Sega Saturn.
I always wanted to play that game. That's a hard game to find.
Oh, trust me, I found it through other means.
Good for you.
But I can hook you up too. But yeah, Dragon Force, when you attack, you just have all these units, like multiple units, just clash on the screen and attack each other. That's pretty much Langrisser. So, and this is a remastered one, so the graphics look better. You can switch between remastered, classic, etc., etc. I chose English language, and it said, no, we're going to give you Japanese instead. So, it's spoken. It's still in English, like text, but whenever they're talking to each other, it's in Japanese. And I was
okay.
Yeah, I was like, I can understand this, but that's not the language I opted for. Whatever.
Okay.
So it's fun. It's cool. I would recommend it if you could find it on a decent sale. Physical, it's kind of hard to come by, actually. So.
Yeah, I have to find the right strategy games.
Yeah, those are the games I've been playing.
Okay. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and get started on our main topic. And our main topic is going to be predictions. I'm pretty sure a lot of podcast shows are doing that right now. The 2021 predictions. Some people are doing themes like PlayStation only, Xbox, Nintendo. And so just like us, we have our own predictions for our episode. And it's funny because when I was looking at our list of predictions that we wrote down or we typed up, I feel like it's almost like it's the year of Nintendo. Because like we don't really know too much of like yet what's going on with Xbox, especially Xbox. Like their stuff is like look, we have it. It'll come soon, I promise. Before Halo, we will have these games. I promise. And then PlayStation is more like here's A, B, and C. So we don't. Yeah. I don't have.
You'll get what you give you, and you'll like it.
Yeah, I think it's the year of Nintendo because Nintendo, I think, and I could be 100% wrong here. It's like their most anniversary year. So,
it's like 4 anniversaries.
Yeah, Zelda, Metroid, Kid Icarus,
Pokemon,
and then even
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, and Donkey Kong, so 5. Even small one games like Super Mario RPG is hitting its 25. Castlevania, it's their 35th. You know, in their own way.
We won't see anything from Konami, but sure.
No, unless it's like a combination or something, or they'll throw a poster, or there'll be a collection, maybe if they feel like. I mean, they did do another Castlevania, but that was on a phone, I believe. And so, but with that being said, it's funny because now a lot of games, especially Nintendo, has been kind of off the main beat when it comes to anniversaries. 35. Who the hell celebrates 35? But Nintendo does it their own way, right? So, we just had Mario
35.
Yeah, so we did Mario. So Mario. But I think these anniversaries are. I was thinking about. I was like, why are there so many anniversaries for Nintendo? And I feel like they keep coming up because it's always a new console to celebrate them on. Weirdly enough, the last Mario celebration was on the Wii with the not everybody's happy anniversary of the port of Super Mario All-Stars. But it is what it is with that. And then I don't know when the trilogy came out for the Wii, but I bet that was an anniversary of Metroid in some shape or form.
and stuff.
Yeah,
like
I'm not
that.
sure when Metroid Prime Trilogy came out either. It was great that you could control it with the Wiimote. That was
Yeah,
great.
yeah. And so, but I'm kind of curious of a lot of other things. Also, this year can be a lot of games that we haven't heard in a long time. Maybe start coming out of, out of the rocks that's been under, and show us what we got. So there's a lot. So Jaron and I have a list of 4 or 5 predictions that we think is going to happen, for better, for worse. One of the bets we have from last year, I said, and we'll see what happens. Halo got announced that it's coming out in the fall of this year, and I still say it's going to be pushed back to 22. So that's still going.
Oh man, I mean, as confident as they've been sounding with how Halo Infinite looks, it might stay in fall 2021, but who knows these days?
I think I'm in the mindset, and I think a lot of listeners are in the mindset, or gamers in general, from pre-orders to game development, all this stuff that we are learning from the last couple of generations is more of seeing is believing. Like the game is in demo. It's like, okay, let us know when it's ready. Stop showing us trailers and stuff, so they stop doing that. Now with Cyberpunk, not having the best opening of a game that's been delayed for so long.
Don't sugarcoat it.
Basically,
they got their asses trounced.
Basically came out as a garbage fire. Shows that, they were definitely still feeling rushed, and they should have took longer to do their stuff. So there's a lot of stuff is more of don't talk, show it. And be ready to show it. Don't show us a video of what you're doing. Let us know when the product's done. Like, I don't know how many times EA is going to keep showing Dragon Age. Like, just bring the game out. Okay? I don't care about what new graphics, everything like that. We already know what the graphics are going to be looking like. We got the consoles now. Doesn't matter. Bring the game out. And that's sad, and I don't really care about Dragon Age, but that's beside the point. But with that being said, I think people just want more of just show it. And Nintendo has been doing a great job with that, in my opinion. They show a game, and they have the date. Boom. It's over. For better, for worse.
Yeah. Or they'll say, oh, it's out now.
Yeah. Or it's a month away. They've been doing a good job showing that. But anyways, we're on a time. So let's go ahead and get through these. I think this is going to be a little bit longer episode for us. So prediction 1 comes from me. Nintendo will have a Nintendo Direct for Metroid 35 or 35th year anniversary, which will announce a Metroid Prime trilogy, since now Mario Sunshine and Galaxy are the first GameCube and Wii games on the Nintendo for the Switch. And we will get 2 GBA games, that is Metroid Zero and Fusion. So, it's funny too, because I think Metroid deserves a spotlight. And with Metroid Prime 4, definitely not. I don't think it's coming out for this year. I think it's going to be 22, especially based on the news that they're slowly getting new people coming in to work on the project and everything like that. It's definitely not 2021 for me. But I think it's time to kind of get hyped for it. If it's coming out 2022, then give us something to be happy about, to be ready for that. And those 2 games together in a package would be really cool. I think everybody really wants a Metroid Prime trilogy on the Switch. I think people really want that. But I can also be fine with the 2 GBA games, because I think they're both great, and I can replay those on the Switch. Jaron, what's your thoughts on that?
It sucks because I like the idea of Metroid, but I've never finished a Metroid game. I have several of them.
Okay.
I have the Metroid Prime trilogy. I'm working through the first one. I have Super Metroid. I have the original Metroid. Who doesn't? As many times they re-released it. But I think they will definitely acknowledge Metroid as the 35th. High in the sky, they have like some special edition Metroid Joy-Cons for the Switch.
Okay.
That would be cool. But I think at best they will probably do a Metroid Prime digital only Metroid Prime trilogy re-release for the Nintendo Switch, but they will stick the knife in and twist it by saying they are each $9.99 a piece and they don't come in a bundle
or a limited time if they decide to roll that out again.
Yeah, that sidebar. I'm definitely looking to see how they do this whole Mario 35th anniversary limited time at the end of March thing. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, Nintendo. You mentioned it before. Nintendo doesn't have to hype people up. Nintendo just all they have to say is new Zelda, people line up. New Mario, people line up.
Yeah, because
they don't have to hype it.
Because everybody knows that Metroid is kind of in the third tier when it comes to games. Like, it's right. It's like, it's hard to debate which one is more popular to people. People put Zelda above Mario. People put Mario over Zelda. So those have always been like the switcheroo. But then it's the Metroids and the Donkey Kongs and all that. And then, sadly enough, I was thinking about this. Like, where does Star Fox sit? I think Star Fox is pretty much down in the bottom right now, since it's not really getting any like, shine right now. I mean, I think Pikmin is higher than Star Fox and whatnot, but Metroid has always been that underdog. Like, it's popular, but it doesn't get a lot of money out of it, I guess is the word. Like, people love Metroid. There's a big following, but it's never been, when it comes to like gross, it's never up there with Mario and Zelda. So
I mean, it's I always looked at it as how many. I mean, it's less and less these days, but how many entries does a franchise get on a platform? Mario on NES got 3 entries. Zelda got 2 entries. Metroid got 1. Game Boy, Metroid got 1. Mario got.
Metroid you mean the original Game Boy? Sorry. Yeah,
Game Boy. Game Boy.
Yeah. One.
Zelda. It didn't get. Zelda got 1. Mario got like 3.
Are you counting 4. Color? Because then it's 3.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Because you have the oracle. Because you have the oracles.
Yeah, we'll just say handhelds. They got multiple entries. They got at least 2 to 3 entries. Super Nintendo. Everybody got 1. Except for Mario, he got 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 64. Metroid was absent. Metroid then wasn't even on 64.
There was no Metroid on N64. Zelda got 2 entries on N64. Mario only got 1. So GameCube, Metroid was in big way. Metroid Prime 2. Wii, Metroid Other M,
and then Prime 3,
and then Corruption. Yeah, Prime 3 Corruption, and then you had the trilogy. They released a trilogy on the Wii. Mm-hmm. So we haven't had a new entry since the Wii.
Right, because the last one was the 3DS with the remake of
Federation. Yeah. Oh yeah.
The remake of the Returns. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the remake of the Game Boy version, but they added that counter parry mechanic. But yeah, so Metroid, I would say Metroid is nowhere near bottom tier. It's definitely mid tier. But considering it hadn't had a major entry on the Wii U, which did, and Switch seems to be languishing. So I mean, I'm not going to get too upset about it.
Yeah,
but I do agree with you on there. And leave my Star Fox alone. Stop. Put some respect on Star Fox's name.
Fox, we need you. Anyways, all right.
That's the closest we're getting to a good Top Gun in space.
I still want my bullet hell Star Fox game. Okay, that should be a thing. That'd be amazing. So,
all right. What's your next prediction?
Do you want to go back and forth? Or do you just want me to go ahead and just go through all mine?
Oh no, we can tabletop tennis this.
Yeah.
All right. So my prediction is going along the anniversary line, 35th anniversary of Legend of Zelda. So I could go with the safe bet, and there'll be some cool little mini games or whatever because they did it with Mario 35. I don't know how they would do that with Zelda 35, but they might. But I think they are going to take this opportunity to have a special direct with additional details for Breath of the Wild 2.
Okay.
Because they teased it about 2 or 3 years ago, probably late 2017 or 2018, and we got Age of Calamity, which they stress that is separate development. We're separate development, and they know that they have to kind of bring the noise this year. So they're going to do something to get people up and going for Breath of the Wild 2.
Okay.
So that's my prediction.
So,
they're not going to squander 35th anniversary for Zelda.
Do you think it's going to be a fall game?
Say a fall game or a Fallout game?
Fall, coming out in the fall. Yeah.
If they were able to slip Breath of the Wild 2 into 2021 in the fall, I would be impressed. But if they were to ever drop a Zelda game, it would be in the fall. It would be either late summer or early fall.
Okay. That's hard to tell. I really think it's going to be a 22 game, but
Nintendo Direct. I'm just saying they're going to drop details. Now, that's a major head scrambler if they're saying, "Hey, by the way, comes out in 3 months." Peace.
I think to put on top of that, a Skyward Sword will come with modern controls. I think it's time for that game.
Oh, you think we're going to have a Zelda All-Stars? We're going to have Ocarina, Majora's Mask?
No, I don't think that's going to happen.
Twilight?
No, I think it's just going to be one game. It's going to be Skyward Sword. I think people want Wind Waker, and I wouldn't mind. I love Wind Waker, but I think Skyward Sword, since it's been absent for a long time.
Since the Wii. Yeah.
It's time for that to come back with modern controls so we can get, some redo of extra love. 'Cause the game is good. But I don't think people want to go back and play the motion kind of style. Now, maybe they could be an option. Like if you want to play motion or you just want to play with regular controls. I think some people played it if you're a hardcore Zelda fan, but people that want to play that Zelda game to give it a try, I think they don't want to deal with the motion controls. So
it's funny. That was like the second or third Zelda game I ever beat, Skyward Sword. Okay. Believe it or not.
Did you like it?
So I liked it, but I didn't have a problem with the motion controls.
Okay.
So I was I played that game almost religiously. Mm-hmm. So, but that's just me. Yep. We all know I have weird tastes.
Yeah. I liked it with the motion controls. I mean, they made the game make it fit for the motion controls, not like here's Zelda. Oh, here's motion controls. You know what I mean? They built it around the idea, right? But I know there's Zelda fans out there. They're like, I like my Zelda to be traditional. I don't like experimental ideas. Leave that to Mario. Mario's good with their experimental ideas. Zelda needs to kind of stay the traditional way. And I feel
there are people who are still salty about the weapons breaking in Breath of the Wild.
Exactly. I know somebody that doesn't like it, and I'm like, I think you're missing the point of the game, but I'm not. But hey, when it comes to a Zelda fan, everybody has their own cup of tea. So I'm just like, you know what, you enjoy yours, I'll enjoy mine. So it's fine. I will say this, because there's a lot of games that got announced a couple years back and not really been talked about, and Platinum Games come to mind. So I'm going to make the prediction that there will be a new trailer for Bayonetta 3 by Platinum Games, and it will be released out this summer. So that's my prediction.
Man, 2021 comes around. You're all optimistic and everything.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like, since Paper Mario, I feel like that they want to put out a game for the summer. And we don't know yet what games are coming out in the summer yet. You know what I mean? Like, we don't even know anything in May. The last game, the closest that we know that's from in-house, well, not in-house, but from a third party is Monster Hunter in March, right? So I don't know anything else after that.
Yeah, and Nintendo's being super mum on if they're having some hardware refresh or Switch Pro like everybody's, hypothesizing.
So my mindset is, since Bayonetta 3 got announced 2 years ago at the Video Game Awards, it's about time that we get another little taste of what's going on.
Yeah.
Is Bayonetta gonna have a new look? From the long hair to the short hair. Is she gonna have something else? She gonna have a weave? I don't know. Just kidding. So I think it's about time we see a little taste of what that game has in store. I'm excited about it, and I think summer would be a great chance for that game, because I don't know if it'll be a big hit in the fall. I think it's a great summer game. Platinum does very well more in the summer. Like, look at Astral Chain. Astral Chain came in August when it got released. And it sold very well. So Platinum games on Nintendo, I think, sell very better in the summer to me. So
yeah. I can buy that. I can buy that. And yeah, I'm probably just gonna say we'll get a new trailer of Bayonetta 3 from Platinum Games. I don't know if we're gonna get a release date this year, because the development time. Because even when they announced the Bayonetta 3, they were working on Astral Chain real hard. Mm-hmm. So
believe in me.
I say we get I say they pull a double fake on us and they give us Bayonetta and Vanquish in the pack for the Switch.
That'd be cool. Too bad I already have it on the PS4, but it'd be cool for people because Vanquish I think would be cool on the Switch. It would run.
Yeah. So they'll pull a double fake because you have to keep in mind this ties into my next prediction. With the next gen, you can't just say, okay, yeah, that's coming to PS5, Xbox Series, and the Switch. That's not going to happen for a lot of games. Mm-hmm. So Nintendo's going to have to start reaching deep into their hat and start. This is a mini prediction. It's not my official one. I say this year Nintendo's dropping 4 bangers.
4?
At least. Yeah, 4 bangers.
Now, is that in-house or a mixture of in-house, third parties, and exclusives, right? Are you that what you're saying?
I'm talking first and second party.
Okay. Do you have any idea what those 4 bangers are, other than, I guess, one will be Breath of the Wild 2 for you?
My goodness, you're going to make me predict. I'm going to say Pie in the Sky is going to have Breath of the Wild 2. We're going to have an F-Zero game.
Ooh,
surprise!
Don't play with my emotions. Okay, go on.
And we're gonna have a Kid Icarus game because it's that, and then they're gonna slip some type of Pokemon madness on us.
If you were a plumber, that is a pipe dream. Okay.
Yes.
All right. If I had to be realistic per se, or not realistic, more of like I think it's possible. I say Pikmin 4, even though we got Pikmin 3. Pikmin 4 has been talking all the time. I wouldn't be surprised if it just drops. As a surprise. I think people have been wanting it. A Mario Kart, I think would be possible.
A true sequel.
Yeah, like a 9. I could see that coming. I think it's about time for another Mario Kart.
Okay.
Now.
Oh, they'll probably link it into the live circuit anyway.
Yeah, maybe that was the tease, and then this is the one they're going to come out with. Now I do want to put Zelda on there, but I think that's where Skyward Sword comes in. Kind of like what they did with Link Awakening. This would be the other banger, Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
And
people will accept it because there will be a ton of people who never played it.
Yeah, because every year there's some Zelda that comes out, right? We had Hyrule Warriors, then we had Link Awakening, and I think the year before was it Breath of the Wild? So
yeah, Breath of the Wild was the launch title.
Yeah. So every year is a Zelda. So I think Skyward Sword will be that banger, either in the spring or the fall, hands down. And then the Metroid, I feel like there will be a Metroid somehow. Not 4, maybe something else. I don't know. I feel like that.
Probably. I bet you're going to get your remastered All-Stars collection.
It's possible. If they want to count that as like a major lineup, like they did with the Mario 3D or something like that.
It would be hard to because you could play Super Metroid and the original Metroid on the Nintendo Online.
But there is a possibility. Rumor is a Kirby game, so a Kirby game could come in too.
Actually, yeah, no, that's good. Turbo's a dark horse.
Yeah. So, and hopefully a lot of people have been demanding a little bit of a more challenged Kirby game, because I guess the previous Kirby games has been a little bit easier.
Oh, it's so easy. Kirby. It's Kirby.
But the early Kirby games were a little challenging. A little bit. They were a lot more challenging than some of the newer ones, in my opinion, because there were a lot of co-ops.
The Kirby games on the 3DS were great. Planet Robobot, I love that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I can play something like that. If it's challenging like Planet Robobot, I'll go with that. So by the way, people, pro tip, find Planet Robobot on the 3DS and get it. That game is an unsung hero.
I think why a lot of people say it's easy because the abilities that Kirby can have can be like maybe cheap or overpowered when you do that. So you have to be careful. I don't know why we don't have a Kirby RPG game yet. I feel like a Kirby RPG game would be really cool. You suck the abilities, and then you can use that ability to use it on as like a power move or something like that. I don't know. I feel like a Kirby RPG would work.
Too familiar. Way too familiar to Final Fantasy VIII, and it's making me angry.
That sounds like a personal problem. So
I hate that damn draw and junction system from Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
But it's Kirby, so they might be a little bit more clever with it. I mean, you never know. So. I mean, Kirby's always been that series that they do a lot of crazy ideas. You had the robot, you have the yarn, you have the canvas game where you draw the lines. Yeah. Kirby is also the platform of let's just try a new idea and see if it works. But let's use Kirby. If that works, then we'll use it with another character. So
yeah, okay, fair enough.
Weird to think of that, but it has been. Kirby's been the experimental character.
Yeah, we're definitely not getting another Yoshi game. Yoshi kind of blew his shot with Crafted World.
Yeah, or he's going to co-op with somebody. It's going to be something like that. Maybe a Yoshi and Kirby game. I don't know. So, okay. My next prediction is every game that has been in development during the PS4 and Xbox One cycle will be moved to the PS5 and Series X. No cross-platform games. For example, Beyond Good and Evil. Skull and Bones, both Ubisoft games.
Yeah.
Sonic game Wild, if you might remember that game.
Vaguely.
Yeah. And Halo Infinite, which rumors are spreading that might be an Xbox Series X exclusive.
Yeah.
People are saying.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense to keep it on the X. Aside from people saying, you broke your promise, you said it was going to be. It's like, you know what? Hush up. Tell your Xbox One, come get a Series X or a Series S. Just shh. Get the Game Pass. Get the Game Pass. Yeah. Get the console. That's it.
Series X needs to get those bangers out, and Halo has to come in banging hard. And having it with connected to the last one, I think, is holding it back from what it really wants to be, graphically and other capabilities. So just make it exclusive, and I think there's more happier people than whinier people. So
yeah, the whinier people are just louder. That's just how it is with the internet in general.
Yeah. And so
whiny people have a +5 of bitch moan.
Right.
Okay. All right. I mean, it makes sense. Your prediction is common sense. As it's going to be a hard sell for some of the Ubisoft, because Ubisoft has done cross-platform games, PlayStation 2 and 3, 3 and 4, Watch Dogs came out on the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4.
Yeah,
Black Flag came out on 3 and 4.
Yeah, but I guess they were I feel like they're more in the middle of it. The Beyond Good and Evil has been so long in development that you wouldn't be surprised they just move all productions to 5. You know what I mean?
True. I mean, it would make sense.
And the only reason I say that is because I feel like that's what Cyberpunk should have done and just took the hit of, what? It's not coming for PS4 and Xbox One. Let's just make it PS5 and Xbox Series. I would have took that hit. And I think it would still make a lot of money.
But here's the difference. They were not touting for over a year or 2 years or whatever about Beyond Good and Evil 2 coming to current and next gen. They weren't doing that. So they could easily, without taking a hit for Beyond Good and Evil 2, say, hey, okay, actually it's coming out exclusively for PS5 and Xbox Series and PC. They could do that, and people will be like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Cyberpunk, they were saying, all the way to that whole controversial, it runs surprisingly well on current gen. No, that was their chance to say, hey, we thought about it.
Right.
We're just going to have it come out for... People would have been pissed, but they would have understood eventually.
Yeah.
They said, well, sure, Second Coming of Christ, he's not going to come on a PS4.
Right.
Second Coming of Christ is coming to a PS4.
Right. And I feel like what Ubisoft is trying to do with Good and Evil, because let me tell you, I like Beyond Good and Evil. So I know that the second one is probably the only chance we're going to get, and probably the only one we're going to get from that series. After that second one, I wouldn't see another entry probably ever. So, go
unless
out.
It sells like gangbusters.
Yeah, well, if it does, it does. But how long it took and the way it's been in development and how long they've been quiet and how much they're putting money into that, it shows me that, go big or go home. If you need to move it to the next big gen, move it to the next big gen. If it can run really well on 60 frames or 4K or whatever you got to do to make this game the best it can be, so it can be satisfying. You can walk away from it, right? Look, we might not get any more entries in this, but at least the second one is going to be freaking amazing for what it is. So, and I trust Ubisoft enough, even though they have some hiccups. I do respect them that they try to pick up the slack, and they do take their time when it comes to really personal projects. Beyond Good and Evil is good, but it's not a popular series. It didn't sell very well in the other one, right? So making this one, they have to be careful around this game. It's not Assassin's Creed where it's going to sell well and we can fix it on the next game. This is more like, if this messes up, that's it. No more.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, and people will say, well, nope, you ruined Beyond Good and Evil,
right.
you know, and
yeah.
Yeah, it's not an Assassin's Creed, it's not a Watch Dogs, it's not what's another, it's not a Far Cry. You know, they can't just, you know,
it's the Kick Icarus of their games over there. No, not to be rude, but Kick Icarus only had three in total. You know, one on Nintendo.
Oh yeah, 2.
No, 3. They had one on the regular. They had the sequel on the Game Boy. And
yes,
then,
you're right.
And then the 3DS one. So there's only 3. So there's really, Beyond only gets like, this is their only other chance to just show it because people demanded it for so long.
Yes.
And of course, that trailer a while back that was teasing it, and then that went out of nowhere. Then you had Michael. I can't pronounce this. Ansel or something like that. I forgot. He left, and he was one of the key people on there. So yeah, take your time. But beyond that, to wrap it all up, all these games I mentioned, I feel they're going to be PS5 and Xbox Series exclusive. No cross platforms. Just move them over there. So we'll see. If one game is cross-platform, then my prediction is done. You can throw it in the trash. So,
here's mine, and this is a wild one. Google Stadia will emerge as a viable alternative to PC gaming as a platform this year. The reason I'm saying that is because I know a few episodes back we were laughing at Google Stadia. We were just laughing and pointing. But Google Stadia, and one of my coworkers can attest to this, Google Stadia is running Cyberpunk 2077 better than the current gen consoles, the next gen consoles, better than some PCs. And for all those people who can't get their hands on the latest equipment to upgrade their PCs, Google Stadia is actually doing pretty well. Cyberpunk might be that magical game that gets people paying attention. And Google has already been working on seeding multiple Stadia controllers and Chromecasts in the last 5 or 6 months across. I still have my Stadia controller. I probably will not subscribe to their Pro service, but I can play other games through Google Stadia. And the fact that I can play that on my computer, I can play that in bed on a TV with Chromecast, that's a big deal. And if Google plays their cards right, they can actually make a dent.
It's possible, but 2 things I think they have to really be ready for. One, Xbox is trying to do the streaming too in some way with connection with Game Pass, so you have to be ready for that. And then the second thing is you might need Google needs something with the marketing and exclusive. You need to get that something that would whet people's appetite to let me give it a try. Instead of us, me too. It feels like, hey, we're here too. That's the Google feels like. It's like, we're here too. Don't forget about us. Yeah. Instead of hey, Ubisoft's made something for us. Hey, such and such made something for us. You know, they need to drop some money and get some exclusive dedicated to Stadia, so it's worth dropping over there instead of, oh, we're here too.
So something that may help sell the whole. The reason a lot of people like to say, oh, I'm tired of PCs. I just want to put in a disc. Put in a disc or a cartridge and play. I don't want to fiddle with this equipment or that equipment. Mm-hmm. Google needs to go after those people. They need to say, hey, come Google Stadia. All you need is this. I'll use this as an example. All you need is this controller and internet, and we got you. But yeah, you're right. Google needs to do some heavy marketing, and they need to acknowledge. I think Google needs to acknowledge they will not be able to out Game Pass the Game Pass with Microsoft. They will not be able to out exclusive Sony exclusives, but they need to. There is a niche for Google. They just need to find it, settle in. Like that Brazilian creature that swims up and throws out the spines. They need to find a niche and settle it, dig in.
Yeah, and better deals. Give us a deal that's worth trying out, Google. Hey, sign up for this, and then you get to try these games out for free, little free trials for 7 days or something. I don't know. They just need to try something to get some people over there. Like the fact that they're now they've been in it for is it 2 years now for them or 1 year?
For Google Stadia?
Yeah.
No, it hasn't even been a year yet.
So they're coming up on year 1 or if past, I don't care. But now since they kind of see where they stand, now they got to start working on going against everybody because now even as their year is also PS5 and Xbox Series X first year too. So they're going to have to start digging more in there for it. So, I mean, there's it's a possibility. Like 2021 is a possibility. It's really open field to me, to be honest with you, because like PlayStation's starting early, but it doesn't mean Xbox can't come later and swipe it up. I mean, they can. Buying Bethesda was a big surprise, so we don't even know what they have up their sleeve either. Yeah. So, especially in Perfect Dark.
This happened with PS3 and Xbox 360. You know, PS3 was sitting pretty, and then Xbox 360 snuck up on them and overtook.
It has been.
They were just going neck to neck.
Yep, it's been back and forth. You know, 360 ruled 1 year, PS4 ruled that last gen. Xbox can do it too. Meanwhile, Switch is doing well, being the second hand and getting more money than both of them. Like, hey, you can get either one, but we're gonna be with you, whatever you decide.
Exactly. It's like no matter who has a PS5 or an Xbox Series, they're probably gonna have a Switch as well.
Yeah. So Switch is really doing the best right now and still selling the best. So I can't wait to see what Switch is going to do to carry on that, to keep it going, because they're saying, like, you know, Doug Bowser, like, he did an interview for Polygon. You should definitely read the article, but they're saying, hey, we're in like our midpoint, and I'm like, all right, let's see what you got. I hope you got more up your sleeve, because it's almost like the Switch is becoming like the Super Nintendo. Like, you're getting all these bangers back, you know.
Yes.
You know, because for a while, all these mascots in these games been separate. Like, Pokemon has never been on a console in a long time. Now that's coming. Fire Emblem's coming. So all this family are coming into this. That's why Switch is so good right now, because you're getting everything you wanted that's been separated together, right?
Yeah.
So
you're making me want to go play Switch right now. But but that's the thing. Yeah, they to sum it up, Nintendo ceased becoming the you got to pick us or something else. They've become the you pick us and someone else.
Yeah.
No matter who you pick, you're gonna pick us too.
Right.
So yeah. Well, that was my Google Stadia when you know they got to find their niche.
Okay.
What do you have?
I got one more, and I'm gonna wrap my part up. This is a pipe dream, pie in the sky. But for some reason I think it's possible. I think it'd be a possible bomb to drop. I think if it got announced, people would lose their mind because they're like, I can't believe it's doing it. Because it's the fact that Nintendo and Square Enix have finally somehow got together and finally are doing something, you know? So, you know, for a while, Final Fantasy Square Enix has been separated, never supported the 64. Slowly started coming back in the GameCube. Kind of stayed away a little bit from the Wii and the Wii U, but you know they were there for the handhelds. You know, you got the Dragon Quests and all this stuff. So they're all coming in.
Bravely Default.
Yeah, Bravely Default. You know, they're slowly working together again. And I don't care if it's them or Ubisoft will do something with it or something like that. But even from the point where you're getting Cloud and Sephiroth now on Smash Brothers, along with Dragon Quest characters. Yeah. All this stuff. So my pie in the sky, and I think it's possible, and it's only because it's celebrating its 25th anniversary. And I think it would blow people's mind. And it'd probably be, I swear, if it works out, I think it could be Game of the Year if it works out. And they do it really, really well. And they take it seriously. And show some love. But I think...
much love.
I think either a remake or a new Super Mario RPG game will get announced.
Woof. So pie, that is pie in the sky.
Yeah.
You're talking about the great reconciliation between Nintendo and Square Enix. Like, they're kind of flirting with each other, but you're talking about the great reconciliation.
Yeah. Like, the two big... You had the biggest RPG company and one of the biggest companies at the time come together to make something awesome. That was a great combo. I would love to do an episode like what games did two companies come together to make something amazing? And this is definitely one of them. And no one saw this coming either. I never saw this coming. And this was going towards the end of the late in the Super Nintendo era with the N64 coming in. Right?
Yeah, this was after Chrono Trigger. This was after Final Fantasy.
If you listen to our 1996 episode, it was coming around that time. You know? So it's funny because it got kind of undershadowed, but it got highly craze. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, everybody was like, "Oh, you got to play that new Super Mario RPG, man!"
Right. So, and the fact that there is some clues that I think people just want to make up, but of course, like, you know, Geno coming back as a costume in Smash with the whole Sephiroth Final Fantasy and all this stuff, you know, there's a chances for that.
Yeah.
but we don't know the whole story of the clash between it. You know, you know, Square Enix owns, I think, Geno and all this. Nintendo owns the rights, all this. I don't know what's going on with that. But if they can, but I think now that Nintendo has been a little bit more open of their characters now since the last couple of years.
Yeah.
You know, they've been very nice to let people, hey, see what you can do with this. Because I think they need a break from these characters sometimes. They're like, we need to work on new ideas. You do something with Donkey Kong. You do something with Kid Icarus. You do something with Mario in that kind of sort of way, or something like that.
They're trusting other companies to farm out some of their IPs.
Yeah, it's not like they're giving it to them and they go away. They still kind of, you know, keep an eye on them and make sure that they do this and this. I mean, look at Hyrule Warriors. You know, Breath of the Wild. The Hyrule Warriors that came out.
Yeah, the Age of Calamity with the Koei.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, Nintendo worked closely with Koei Tecmo to make sure they get everything right. So it could be the same thing with Square Enix in this. Or if you want to do it, like I said, Ubisoft did such a good job with Mario and Rabbids on the gameplay and such. I'd be fine with them if they want to take it and make it continue on from there. They don't have to use the XCOM strategy. They can just make it traditional. I don't care. But yeah, Ubisoft is good at doing that, and they work really well with Nintendo. You know, with the Starlink with Star Fox, also on top of that. You know,
mentioning Star Fox again.
Hey,
that should have been my prediction. Star Fox comes back this year.
Right. But I think that's a pie in the sky. If that comes out, everybody will lose their mind. I would lose my mind because I do want to replay that game again. You know, when I first played it, I didn't like it. But then again, I wasn't really in RPG games yet. But then I played it again. And I played it and I'm like, I get it. And I loved it because it was just something new, unexpected. Like, seeing Mario and Bowser work together was awesome. Like, well, this is cool. And that's what I want. I want the unexpected. And so, and of course, if people know the history of the Mario RPGs, it broke off to two spiritual successors.
Mario Luigi.
Yeah, the Mario Luigi and the Paper Mario. So that kind of split off in their own way to keep the kind of the legacy going in their own way. But I think people really want that Square Enix love again. People want Geno and Mello and Mario to come back, or new characters in this new voyage. I mean, Princess coming back in the mix. You know, there's so many new characters in this. Rosalina, all these characters can come back. It can be such a phenomenal game. So that's my pie in the sky.
Oh, snap. Yeah, Daisy could be a hell of a character.
Yeah, they can be a lot of things. They can make this game awesome if they really want to try hard enough to do it. So that's my pie in the sky. But also, I'm going to go ahead and take the chance and say it will be announced this year. A new RPG. So.
All right.
Hey, season 5, we're gonna have fun with this. So yeah,
I know. Season 5, we are like upbeat. We are high on hope. Like, if hope were cracked, we're smoking it,
dude. You gotta have hope now. So, all right. So that's the last of my predictions. Do you have one more before we wrap this show up?
I have a minor one. I know I kind of slipped one in, but this one is just going to be 25th anniversary of Pokemon. So Nintendo's going to piss us all off by announcing they're ceasing support of Pokemon Box on the handheld to push people to Pokemon Home. So you better get your Pokemon moved from box to home ASAP. And they will. I also predict they will announce another year of legendary Pokemon giveaways because they did it a couple years ago.
Okay.
Culminating in an announcement of the next Pokemon game in development. So they're going to announce the next Pokemon game in development because they already did Pokemon Sword and Shield, not 2020, but 2019. And then we got, I think Pokemon Sword and Shield came out in 2019. And then we got the DLC in 2020. So we're going to get a new Pokemon game announced this year.
You know, it'd be really cool. And now we'll wrap this show up. Do you remember the Pokemon Conquest,
where it was like feudal Japan and Pokemon. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
It was on the Game Boy Advance. I don't know if it's called Conquest, but it was like a feudal Japan where Pokemon served under the master. I don't know why, but a Fire Emblem and Pokemon game would be interesting to see.
You know, it can happen.
I can see it happening, you know.
They would have the weapon types, so you can have the Pokemon types with the weapons.
Yeah, but you you still have your master and your trainer and everything like that, but it'd be cool to see Pokemon like dress in the armors and stuff like that, fighting with them in the strategy. I think it'd be funny. I think it'd be hilarious. If that happened, I'm like, well, I gotta buy it because I said it. So,
well, at that case, that has got to be like a digital only type of.
Oh
hey,
yeah,
this is cute.
Oh yeah,
or they release kind of like an indie, like a Nindy. It's from Nintendo, but it's done by one of their indie developers. So it's like really 8 or 16-bit-ish.
Yeah.
So.
And that's, dude, shout out to indie developers, man. I love the indie developers that work with Nintendo and stuff. But I want some indie people to work with Nintendo on some of their properties. Like, it's almost like I want to see what they would do. Like, here, make a short game out of Mario, Metroid. What can you do with this? Like, come back and show us. You know, kind of like, it'd be fun. It'd be a fun idea. Like, almost like an NES remix, per se, but not. So, but...
Bring it back. Bring back NES remix.
Well, might as well. Reuse library's almost gone. So, you know, go ahead and grab everything while you can out of that. So, all right. With that being said, I want to thank everybody for listening to our very first episode of the year of the In-Game Boss podcast as part of the In-Game Boss program, a network of gaming and other variety shows. So remember, we're on Facebook and Twitter. You can look us up there. And remember, you can listen to us of all the listening spots that you see in the description and everything like that. Definitely go check out Memo Demo. We'll have our description in there and whatnot. And now that we are on going into the YouTube front, and hopefully we can continue this, definitely subscribe on YouTube. We would love your support there and whatnot. You might have saw a wandering mouse flying around here. I'm still getting used of working on this. You know, like this is my first time using this OBS program. Well, for video, it's for this. I'm first time using OBS for this. So, you know, working on this ideas and whatnot. So hopefully you can kind of tell us if we're doing great or not, whatever. But with that, yeah. I want to thank everybody for listening to this episode, and thank you for everybody for continuing on and whatnot. And, you know, we'd love to hear more about you. So with that, thank you so much, and we will catch you on the next stage. Stage clear. Let's go.
New high score.